Hey, it's Austin James. If you're like me, trying to live your best life while living with diabetes, you can relate to worrying if you're doing a good job managing your diabetes. I use the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor to get real-time glucose readings and see the impact of every meal and activity to make better decisions. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor can help me live life with diabetes on my own terms, and it gives me more time for the things I love, like being a dad and a musician. Now this is progress. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
How do you feel great on vacation? Like really good? Easy. You go to Aruba. You'll spend your time relaxing on cool white sand beaches and floating in healing blue water. You'll immerse yourself in natural wonder and find your center on an island where things move at your speed. You won't just feel great, you'll feel relaxed, renewed, and ready for life. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your trip at aruba.com.
This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Lovely stuff.
Hey, lovely, lovely.
I tell you what, that fruit, that's bloody nice. That is bloody lovely.
Well, hello there, and welcome to The Lovely Show with me, Kevin McGahern.
And me, Justine Stafford. We have to apologise because there was no episode last week because
We're full of
we're very
apologies.
sorry. We're very sorry.
Why was there no episode last week, Justine?
Well, because I got food poisoning, and it was not a fun time for me. Not a good week.
How much detail are you willing to go into this?
Look, it's close to tearing myself a new arsehole. That's what I'll describe it in one sentence as you for. But it did mean I was pretty much wrote off all last week.
Yeah, what did you eat?
Seafood.
What kinds?
Oysters.
Oysters.
And I bloody love oysters. I don't care. That's the first time in my life I've ever gotten food poisoning from them.
Yeah.
And it was even weirder. It was in Ireland. And I've had oysters like in London, all over the place, in other countries. And it was at home. It was on home soil.
It was in a restaurant?
It was in a restaurant.
Okay. You didn't get them in Tesco?
No, I didn't pick them off the ground.
Yeah. You weren't licking an old stone.
But I never realised how bad seafood poisoning is. Like, it hits you quick and hard.
Yeah, so when I proposed to my beautiful wife, Siobhan, I did the preposition, the proposing. Went down on one knee, delighted myself. I ordered a big bucket of mussels. A bucket of them.
Right, as a celebration.
Yeah, kind of. It was for the dinner.
Or did you propose with mussels as opposed to a ring?
No. It was a squid ring. So I ate a whole big bucket of mussels, and then I had to spend the next 2 days just expelling everything from my body.
Yeah.
I was like a fucking Chinese pinwheel.
No, absolutely. And you try everything. I thought a batch loaf would soak it up. I thought that might help.
If I lay down on the bathroom floor, I would have spun.
Do you know when you get that sick that you take off all your clothes?
Yeah.
What is that about? Is it some survival thing or something? I don't know what it's about.
I suppose it just makes the cleanup a bit easier. But we had to stay an extra day in the hotel. I went from literally the most romantic moment of my life to the most disgusting.
But it was
moment
good
of my
for
life.
Siobhan to see what she was signing up for. It's kind of like sickness and in health. She got both.
I think it made her a bit worried. She was like, "Is this?" Because if I'm nervous about something, I'll get it in my stomach.
Okay.
And she's like, "Is he into this? Is this something I should be worried about?"
Was it the muscles at all, or is this his body telling him no?
And even now, like this has happened maybe 3 times with muscles.
Proposing to her?
No,
She's still
no, just a violent illness. And even when I see mussels on the menu, I was like, I might chance like 4. And she's like, no, you're
Really?
not. You're allergic to them, clearly.
You see, I'm the exact opposite. I want to go straight back on the horse. Like,
yeah, me too.
Honest to God, now I have to. And I'm going away, and I'm going to get them on a trip now this week as well.
You're not.
I have to. I am. I dance with the devil. I don't care. I honestly, the idea of not having seafood again is more upsetting to me than what I went through last week. I'll tell you, I lost a few pounds. Great easy diet. If you can deal with
you can deal with the missing work, upsetting your co-worker.
And do you know what the worst part was? Do you know when it really hit me? I was going to a school reunion. School reunion, 50 years.
You want to lose a few pounds for the school reunion?
No, it all hit me at the reunion. So I was rocking in thinking, can't wait to see the lads and show them I'm doing okay in life.
What were you wearing?
What was I wearing? A black coat And I looked cool.
You looked cool.
I looked cool.
Yeah. How far did you get in?
I got in the door. They were doing speeches, and then I had to go to the bathroom, and then I had to run from the school down to a bush.
God, just like the old days. And the award for the best social media star is Justine. She's shitting in a bus, miss. She's shitting in a bus outside, in a bush outside.
Bus.
I meant to say bush. God, I'd say that brought back a lot of memories for your classmates.
Yeah, it was.
Did you get chatting to anybody?
It was literally like hello, and then they turned, and I was dust. Like I was gone.
Did you
Like
have to-
I got a text from them afterwards saying, "Turn to say hello to you again," and you were gone. Like yeah, things took
Wow.
a turn. So it was that, but that's what was going to happen. It wouldn't have suited me to go back to school and
Not have a incredibly embarrassing encounter. Yeah, it
kinda-
would be off brand.
They'd be like, she's herself anyway. She hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So that was good.
And God, I'd say you were looking forward to going back to the school reunion, rubbing their nose in it, would you?
Not in the slightest. They're still some of my best friends. Like we were like a little family. Adore
Yeah.
them to bits, and we never changed. And it's lovely to come home because I like coming home and you're with people that aren't in the media or in this world because it's really grounding and like going back to like
Yeah.
this is why I'm here.
You call them normal people.
My friends is what I call them. They're like, it's just lovely to go home and I'd be like, we went to this event. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, great, yeah, no, this is what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring you down to earth.
Yeah.
So you had 3 days sitting on the porcelain throne.
Yeah. I love that this is being recorded. I love this so much. My mother's going to be so proud when she sees this.
I think your mother's expectations has been lowered throughout the years.
Yeah.
As have mine.
Yeah. Your mother's expectations of me or your own?
Oh, my mother's expectations of you. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's good
no,
to know.
of me, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've accepted where the level is and they're like, Grant.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
But every so often I push the level lower. She's like, oh, okay. So she went to her school reunion and
Oh, now you're discussing cheap dildos from Deals.
that's me. I actually found it. I brought in a picture. It was just called the vibrator.
God, they couldn't even be arsed getting like...
There it is. Vibrating bullet.
What kind of Don Draper advertising executive came up with that name?
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, it's called the Bullet, Justine.
Yeah.
Oh, it just says vibrating bullet.
Yeah, very classy.
It looks like the X Factor background. It's a handy enough size. I kind of thought, that's a fucking big bullet. That'd take an African elephant down.
One bullet, bang, bang.
Back in the vulva. Have you got any... Did you get any messages from the Deals people?
No, Ann Summers got onto me.
Did they?
They did. They were upset. They said, bring it in and we'll return it for you.
What did you say? You said, yeah, a lad broke down on you.
One from Ann Summers.
Right.
Yeah.
So they said, bring it in.
And
We'll have a look under the
we'll
bonnet.
Get our maintenance van.
There's probably
Go through
there's a
NCT.
timing belt gone on or something.
I'll pass the NCT next time, I promise you.
You didn't put petrol into it, did you?
No, diesel all the way. Good Lord. In this economy.
So did Ann Summers offer you anything other than like...
They said, come in, yeah, we'd love to talk to you. I'm not going in there.
For a fit.
And I'm
Come in for a fit.
I'm like, no, I'd be like, fair play to them, love that, but I'd be the Catholic guilt. It just ruined me. I couldn't do that.
Is the Ann Summers still on O'Connell Street?
Oh, there's multiple. There's one on Henry Street.
On Henry Street.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you walked in, like you'd have to do a couple of photos.
Yeah,
You'd
I'm
have
not
to do
too.
some social media.
Yeah. As much as my mother was disappointed about the school reunion, that'd be another level for her now. That
Would you be a
I'd have
brand...
to have her on an IV drip when I tell her the news.
Would you be a brand ambassador for Anne?
A brand ambassador. I got that was a stretch. This is first draft, Kevin. I haven't thought
The
about
word
it.
ass already exists in the word ambassador, and you put it in the wrong place.
And for that reason, I won't be.
For that reason, I'm out.
For that reason, I'm out. Yeah, no, I don't think it would. It wouldn't
So
suit
yeah,
me. No,
so
no,
Ann
no,
Summers,
no,
you're gonna have to sweeten the deal a bit now.
No, they'd want to be.
Yeah, you're not
they
gonna
wanna be
buy.
offering me more than a toy.
You're not gonna buy Justine Stafford off with a free dildo.
And you can quote me on that. Oh Lord, I was cleaning at the weekend. Right, cleaning. I did a big deep clean on the house,
All right.
and I found a vape. Right.
Okay.
One of the vapes that I would have been like flat out on.
Right.
And there was a panicked
You're
moment.
describing this like it's a salacious object. This vape, Kevin. Me and this vape.
You don't
had a hell of a
understand.
time.
We did. That's the problem.
What's
And
the flavour of the vape?
pink lemonade.
Okay. Why is it so
Oh.
special, first of all?
It was just, oh my God, the flavour of this thing. Even this, even when I picked it up off the ground, the smell of it, I was like,
Bringing back memories.
bringing back memories.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, here we go.
Were you big
again.
into the vapes?
I was flat out. It was like literally at a point, noon, like from the moment I woke up, like,
Wake and vape.
wake and vape, baby, wake and vape. I'd be on the pillow, I'd be like, fresh air. Like that was
Yeah.
how I'd start the day, under my pillow for the tooth fairy.
Like a 40s detective. You're
Yeah.
just up vaping straight
Vaping-
away.
No, but I was. It
Yeah.
was
Before the Weetabix.
before the Weetabix, long before. It was awful. It was like from the second I woke up until I went to bed. And if I didn't have it in my hand, it was like a bloody part of me. Like it was like
Yeah.
another limb. If I didn't have that, it was...
See, the vapes are nearly worse than the fags because...
They are. I respect people that smoke because they have to go out in all weathers. Vaping, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, honest to God. And I never, like, in the odd time in a smoking area, you get offered to
You
smoke.
could do it in
and-
a maternity ward, probably. Just holding your baby. It's also worse because,
Because
you'd-
it-
like even a smoker gets up in the morning and they're like, I'm not going to smoke before
No.
breakfast or
The
coffee
idea
because
of
that
doing
would
that
make
is
me
disgusting.
bad and
Yeah.
disgusting.
The idea of that to me now is...
But a vapor.
But a vapor. Because it was marketed as though it was healthy. I was like, sure, this is grand.
I don't think it was marketed. It was healthy. Just
Well, healthier.
healthier, maybe.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
there was no harmful. And then the more I watched and read into stuff, I was like, oh, this isn't good at all.
And do you know what? Sorry to vapors out there. You look fucking lame.
Do you know what now?
Like,
After I've stopped, so I haven't had one since January 1st this year.
Yeah.
And as time, now in those first 2-3 months, I'd look at them going, I wish I was you. Now I look at them, I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not. Just
Yeah.
because it's kind of changed, I think, the attitude towards it a bit over this year.
you
I've
look
noticed.
like you're sucking off R2D2.
That's completely it. It's like a
It's not a
USB
cool
stick
look.
filled with jam.
Like if Humphrey Bogart was vaping, no, he looked like
Think
a
of
tosser.
like big moments in history, like world leaders having a cigar to celebrate things.
Yeah.
If that was
Fidel
a little,
Castro.
Yeah.
Humphrey Bogart, Marilyn Monroe. Did she smoke fags? Probably.
Definitely.
Yeah. You swap them with vapes and they just look very lame.
especially when the flavours.
I think it's because a child could probably do it.
But that's why it's all marketed towards children. It's
Yeah.
bringing
Like
in
if
a
a
new
child smoked a fag,
generation.
he'd get sick.
Yeah.
But if a child vaped, he'd probably be grand, or at least he'd.
Well, let's not be crazy, but
No, but I mean, like he wouldn't have an involuntary vomit reaction to it. But like, that makes it not cool. If like,
unless there's a significant
unless it
danger.
messes you up, it's like it's the equivalent of kind of Alco Pops. It's not cool to drink Alco Pops. 'Cause kids can do it. Whiskey is cool. Smoking fags is cool. It's bad for you, but it's cool.
Is it cool?
It's kind of cool.
Kind of cool.
Vapes not
I
cool.
don't know. And I really noticed that over the year. I'm just like, you know what? And I had this moment in my hand at the weekend looking
Hello,
at
old
it.
friend.
I just put it in the bin, no bother. And if that had happened, say when I quit in January, if I'd have found that thing on the floor in February, I might be having a very different conversation right now. The first 2 months of trying to stop vaping was absolutely atrocious.
You do sound like you're like a recovering heroin addict.
It was absolutely.
I wouldn't be here talking to you today.
Well, it really
I'd
was.
be outside smoking a vape.
It was truly like the hold it had over me.
Did it have any like? So I've vaped only like maybe 3 times just off a friend to see what it was like.
Yeah.
But if you're vaping all day, what's that feel like? Is your throat raw?
Yeah, completely. My chest was constantly
Oh,
in
really?
pain. Absolutely. And because I'd be going in to do voiceovers and I'd do 2 lines, they'd be like, your voice has gone a bit raspy there. And I'm like, oh, great. It's only going to get worse.
Super Value. Just 2-for-1 biscuits and Super Value this week. Jammy Dodgers on sale this week. Justine, just have a little problem with the microphone actually. Is that what a vape sound? That's a bong actually.
Yeah.
That was my bong sound effect I whipped
that
out.
wasn't bad. You've been working on that. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bit like that. Yeah. But yeah, it was a lovely moment actually, getting to throw it away.
Yeah, you felt like,
I felt like I've conquered Everest.
wow. I've conquered the least addictive, lamest drug known to man.
Wow, you're wrong there.
Is it?
Yeah, you're very wrong. You've no idea, Gavin.
See, anytime I smoked a vape, it just felt like I was just sucking like flavoured air.
That's how it gets
Whereas
you.
like a cigarette is like a burning piece
Weirdly,
of plant.
the cigarette thing for me, I could have one and smoke and it does nothing. I don't understand it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll just do it out of like, all right, if everyone's having one. But I'm like, I've never had any hold.
You never get the buzz of it.
No, not once. And I got that instantly off of vape and I was like, oh, I get this. That head rush.
Well, Justine, I'm so proud of you. And to stand by you this whole time, when I stand by your addiction when I didn't really realise you had one.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like a really good friend.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you came out of this.
We are going to
back of
get
this
a
absolute
bucket
hellhole.
of mussels to celebrate. That's what we're going to do.
And
it's a
and
survival of the
24 family pack
survival of
of
the shittest.
We need to get a family pack of toilet roll and a bucket of mussels
First the shit loses.
and just book a hotel room just for the toilet.
Lovely stuff.
This show is part of HeadStuff Podcasts. Here's another show you might like. Listen, I'm Delicious with Garen Noon.
Well, hello there. Sorry to interrupt the fine podcast you were listening to, but I thought after you listen to this podcast, you might want a bit of company. So you could come over and listen to my delicious podcast, Listen, I'm Delicious. Can I interest you in a lovely biscuit? Well, maybe I can interest you in some lovely conversations with some of Ireland's greatest people talking about some of the greatest foods ever made known to man. Come and enjoy it now. Listen, I'm Delicious. Out now on HeadStuff Podcasts.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
If you're hearing this in your Rolls Royce, then Donald Trump's tax plan is for you.
You're rich as hell. We're going to give you a tax cut?
But for everyone else, there's Kamala Harris's plan.
Under my plan, more than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut.
Because that guy in the Ferrari doesn't need another break. But Kamala Harris knows you sure could use one. Paid for by FFPAC, ffpac.org. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
I saw a video at the weekend and it really hit me.
What was it?
About dating, right? And it was like, if they still follow you on social media, they never liked you.
What?
Yeah. That hit me hard. And the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, that's true.
If they still follow you on social media,
They never liked you.
they never
As in, if
liked
they
you?
ended it, and if they blocked you, I mean, they loved you. I'm like, yeah, that rings true. Because they can't look at what you're doing. Like, it makes sense. If they're still actively watching everything you do, it's not getting to them. They don't care. It means nothing. It's passive viewing.
I don't know, do I agree with this? This is kind of like the vape thing. If you quit vaping, but you leave it in your drawer, does it mean that you're still addicted? Or does it mean you exercise amazing self-control, you know it's there, and you're not tempted by it?
Well, I found the vape because I clearly just never...
You're just lazy.
Yeah, it doesn't clean. It wasn't like a thing in my head.
So
of
have
being
you
like,
blocked people that you loved?
Yes.
Have you?
I couldn't watch it anymore. It broke me.
Yeah, but then you're also sending
But I'm
a
a
message.
heartless romantic. Like.
Heartless romantic. How does that work? A hopeless romantic.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a heartless
I definitely think
romantic.
you're hopeless.
Yeah, completely.
I don't know. Do I agree with that? I'm trying to just think through.
Well, I look at fellas now that still follow me, and yeah, they might throw an odd like, but that's just because they're obviously alone at the minute.
They're just sort of just hedging
They're
their
just-
bets.
Yeah.
She could
Sussing out the situation.
She could get lonely and drunk some night.
Yeah, no, that's honestly, I really think there's something in that. Because it doesn't matter. It's not bothering them to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
They don't care.
See, I think a real sign of love would be if you yourself left social media. So if you loved somebody so much, and rather than blocking them, you just delete your account. That's real sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's real love.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. Like, I mean, you're sacrificing all your friends and everything else for them. That's a bit extreme.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's real love. What you're talking about is fucking child stuff. Blocking somebody. Come on.
Yeah, in this day and age, if someone blocked me now, I'd be so upset, but I'd be like, oh, they obviously couldn't hack seeing what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah, I think this is just this is just like your way of just comforting yourself.
Well, I'll tell you something, Kevin, right? And I've been thinking about this. You think back to the old romantics,
You're getting
right?
thick about this.
I'm not about that, about romance in general, right?
Yeah.
Think back to the old romantics and they'd send love letters.
Yeah.
Think of all that, right? And now they'd be meant to be like, oh, you can't do that. That wouldn't be a manly thing to do. These men were the most romantic men writing letters, and they were the hardiest men. They were soldiers. They were fighting in country for our country. You know, like,
and it wasn't like you up.
No, it was gorgeously
beautiful
written.
poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah, written
Where
in the
is that
trenches
gone?
of France.
And they had, people today have this idea of like, oh, that's not manly to do that. I'm like, can we just look back in the history books? We talking about not manly. These were the manliest
boys.
Manliest boys going. When did that stop? How did that change? I blame social media. And now it's, I'll block them or I won't view their story.
I remember kissing an American girl when I was about 15. She was a cousin of my friend.
Right.
She was down on holidays. And I was like, I think I'm in love with this girl. Because I just kissed her once.
Yeah,
Because I hadn't a clue.
that's how it happens.
It's about 14 or 15. And
you're a heartless romantic.
I said to my friend, and I was like, I am mad about her. I want to write her a letter.
Right.
And my friend was like, please do not do that. Like, write her like an email.
The sun is splitting the stone.
Yeah, I was going to do it in Irish. And she was like, that's lame, write an email. So
no.
I think she was right. I think a girl would be really creeped out by a letter.
I don't know.
You would, Justine. As a woman, what age are you now?
30.
As a 30-year-old woman, you might find the novelty of it.
I used to love letters.
Or getting a mixtape sent to you because it's kind of retro. But when you were 16, if some lad wrote you a letter, you'd be like, this lad's a fucking serial killer. He sent me his teeth in the post.
Yeah.
It's a lock of his hair and it's curly. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you need to bring back handwritten letters.
Well, how did the email go down?
I was never with her again because, well, she didn't come back to Ireland. It wasn't going to work, really.
She blocked you. Then she loves you, man. She loves you.
She was living in New York, so like.
Oh, cool.
I don't think I visited New York until I was like in my 20s.
I'm telling you, I don't know. I did emails and letters around that age bracket. I think a letter was cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's retro. You could draw a picture on it.
You could draw a picture on it.
Yeah.
An erotic doodle.
Well, what I thought would be an erotic doodle, I had no idea what body parts look like, but my imagination, it's abstract. Abstract art.
Well, Justine, it's the spooky season.
Oh, spooky season is here. The spooky tree. We were talking about the spooky tree.
The spooky tree.
People have spooky trees. It's like a Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah. You have a Christmas tree at Christmas time. You have a spooky tree for Halloween.
Yeah.
So it's the spooky season. We're right in the middle of it.
We are. We're in the heart of it.
We're knee deep in spooky season. With goose and goblins. Ghosts and goblins are about. Here is a clip. Now, it was doing rounds a couple of years ago. It was recorded. Children in Virginia, County Cavan.
Oh, I know it well.
In 1986.
Pumpkin Festival every year.
Oh, it's the pumpkin capital of Cavan.
You weren't even stretched to Ireland there. No, let's not be crazy. Cavan knows its limits.
This is kids dressed up at Halloween. They're interviewed in their school, and like
this is like the original, like people being stopped for their outfit of the day. This is incredible.
But all the outfits are just black bin bags. So I'll play it for you here.
Okay. Oh, look at this.
So this first child, I'm not sure what her costume is. She's wearing a black
hair.
bin bag, and just looks like she just covered her face in dirt.
Yeah.
So
that witchy, spooky.
I think her costume is just, I am rubbish.
I am rubbish.
But it shows the difference between kids in the 80s compared to kids now.
Yeah.
Kids in the 80s were absolute little bastards. Like.
Oh, really?
But listen to them here.
And what are you going to do for Halloween?
Cut lines.
Cut lines?
And ring doorbells. And throw eggs at windows. And hide things. And pull up flowers.
Oh my God.
Gather nuts.
Gather nuts.
That's all.
Tell me about cutting the lines. How are you going to do that?
We get a big scissors.
The glee on her
And cut
face.
it in half. And we do let down tires as well.
We do let down
Take
tires
off
as well.
gates. Oh my
And take off
Gates,
gates.
thank you.
Are you strong enough to take off a gate?
Yeah.
What'll you do if the man runs after you?
I'd run over ditches and everything and drains. And you wouldn't
Right,
catch
would.
fall in the drain.
This is the boy
What
after my
sort
own
of
heart.
things will you throw at the doors?
Stakes. And make noise, and when they come out, there'll be nothing there, yeah.
Hero,
What
absolute
sort of
hero.
noises will you make?
What a fringe, incredible.
When they bang on the door, the people might come out and there'll be no one there, yeah. Shush.
There's a type of Cavan accent
It's incredible.
where they've added extra vowels to
Yeah.
words. Well, we throw
Door.
sticks at the door, and when they come out, there'll be nobody there.
I love it. I love it. I'm bred on that. It's incredible to me.
But at no point, out of those 3 children, did anyone mention sweets.
No,
Nobody mentioned sweets.
No need for them.
Nobody mentioned even dressing up. They're just like, we're going to cut lines. We're going to cut lines. We're going to pull up flowers. We're going to kick doors. We're going to steal gates.
I want to talk about this because I was doing a podcast a good few years back about Halloween and what do you get up to or what did you do as a kid. And I went on about stealing gates.
Yeah,
and
we used to
everyone looked in horror at me, clutching their pearls, going, what is this degenerate from the country talking about? And the whole audience was the exact same reaction of like,
Yeah.
who's your one? And I was like, no, I didn't imagine this. This was a thing that happened.
Yeah, no, we did a little bit of gate stealing.
Oh, this was the height of Halloween for us. And you'd steal for sale signs if someone was selling their house and you'd put them up outside someone else's house.
That wasn't selling the house.
That wasn't selling
And somebody
the
would buy their house and they'd have to leave.
Those are the rules, Gavin. That's how I ended up in Meath. We originally came from.
It was Halloween night. Here, I'm after buying this house. You just may get out.
Harmless fun.
But
But you'd need, like, one of the dads would drive us around in the Jeep. And we'd
Okay.
come home, we'd have about 6 gates.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, like, I think I stole 1 gate in my life.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, you were in the.
But that's because
ordinary.
gates were easier to steal because they were literally, you just lift them up. They were just on a little hook thing.
Yeah, you know, farmers' gates. Like,
yeah.
Bale and Twine was keeping half of them up. And a biscuit tin. You're like, I don't even understand how this gate works. You know
Yeah.
those gates?
Yeah. But
gate-
I was just really struck. Like, these children are like, what age do you say? 8, 9?
I'd say 8.
And they're like little criminals.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Oh, that first girl, she is so lovely as well. Like, and how smiley she is saying these
Yeah.
horrible things.
Cut
I'm going
lines.
to pile
How-
up flowers.
And do you mind me asking you, how would you cut lines? With the big scissors. You fucking idiot. How else would you cut a line?
See, the problem with young people now, just seeing they're cutting lines in a different fashion. I'm talking, of course, about cocaine.
This is exactly it, Gavin. The thing is, though, that crew coming down must have looked at that in the same way that audience looked at me on that podcast.
Yeah.
They're like, what?
Who is this hellion? Yeah.
It's this. I'd love to see those people
Were you
now.
wearing a black bin bag at the time?
I don't think that's relevant to the point, Kevin, actually. I don't see how that comes into it.
Do you know what? With your food poisoning, a black bin bag could have been an ideal outfit.
Yeah, it really would have. My Lord, it would have.
I was thinking about, we were looking into, we were talking about Irish myths and legends, and the legends of like the leprechaun.
Mm-hmm.
How much of it were just children acting the bollocks? Like, that's
Yeah.
1986. What were
It's a
they like?
small
What were
child.
kids like 100 years ago?
Mm.
Because I know there was definitely somebody was telling me of like, oh, there was a story of a leprechaun down our way, and he would block. He put a tile over your chimney, and
Jesus.
he would
That could cause a
steal milk from your cow. So then your house fills up with smoke and your cow's all out of milk.
Yeah.
And I was like, that just sounds like kids
Child.
acting the
Yeah.
pop.
Absolutely. But like, what was the boldest thing you did? I wasn't a bold child. I was terrified of being bold.
We did that dog poo in the bag prank.
Prank?
Yeah, so you get some dog poo, you put it into a paper. I'd seen it in an American film.
Oh, stamp it on a door.
Yeah, I think it was in an Adam Sandler film.
Yeah,
I saw
it was, yeah.
And you light the bag on fire. And I remember your man didn't come out. So we lit it again. He still didn't come out. And we were there. We must have been there for 15 minutes. And guards arrived at the house.
Oh, no.
And it was inside. It was a big house, and there was no escape. So we had to fucking run around his garden. We ended up jumping a wall. But I don't know. We weren't that bold,
No, I was afraid of being bold. I was I was in school as well. Jesus, I was such.
Maybe fireworks fights.
Fights with fireworks.
Yeah. So everyone had fireworks. We'd go up to Fermanagh. We'd buy a load of fireworks in
Jonesborough
Clogher
Market. Did you ever go there?
We went to Clogher Market.
Clogher, yeah.
And then you'd just sort of have wars with fireworks. But I remember 2 years ago, my cousin invited us all over, all the family over to do fireworks in her house. And it's a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
All the cousins have kids now. And had a break of fireworks. And they were like, right, Kevin, Patrick, you light the fireworks. Me and my cousin Patrick.
Right.
Because we had lighters.
Aye.
And I remember putting one down. Patrick was putting it down, and I was like, oh, it says bury up to here. And it's 3 inches you're supposed to bury it into the ground. And Patrick's like, oh, fuck, it'd be grand. I'm like, all right. So we just put it in an inch into the ground. The first shot went up into the air, and then it fell and faced all of my family and the grandkids and the kids.
Good God.
And we basically just created a sort of a firing line for children.
Great.
And it just shot 12 Roman candle fireworks at all our beautiful children's faces.
That's not an episode, but say when I used to play Worms, the PlayStation game, I'm just visualizing that in a cartoonish manner.
It was very
going, pew, back down again.
No, it didn't. No. The first shot went straight up there, and then the Roman candle fell on its side.
Sorry.
And just
good
faced
God.
the children
That's so
and just
much
went
worse.
And everyone just ran screaming.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
That's what you'd expect. So be concerned about just stood there. Good. But are you big into costumes at Halloween? I love it now. I'm big into it.
I do it's obviously it's my kids are dressing up now. So I get great enjoyment out of that.
Do you live vicariously through that?
Of course I do, yeah.
See, now I get very every year I want to do something that's topical or relevant. Do you know?
Yeah. You like a good joke costume.
Oh, I bloody live for it. But it has to be done well is the other thing. There has to be a bit of effort put in there.
Right.
When I did the baby Guinness, that was great.
Yes.
But I couldn't leave the house in a nappy because that would be terrible. And it wasn't a real nappy, but I'd made one out of a cushion.
Do you know what? Last week you could have done it.
Last week I could have done with it.
If Halloween was last week, you could have went out as a baby Guinness with a big nappy and just stayed out the whole night.
Lived the
Justine, you haven't gone to the
life.
toilet in hours. I'm grand. I'm actually grand, lads. Although I do need to be changed soon.
I think the best year I went was I went as Banshee Bones, the packet of crisps, because they came back after years off the market.
Oh yes, I remember that.
But I had to
that was a great costume.
Yeah, I dismembered a PlayStation 1 dance mat for that. Because I had to be the big black packet of crisps. So that wrapper was the back of a dance mat.
So you're never going to dance again.
I'm never going to dance again. But it was so worth it for that.
It was a great costume.
Boy, that was a nightmare to walk in. Because you're bent over, you're hunched over in it.
Yeah.
But I loved that one. Last year I did the French bed bug because it was topical in the news. And I've been trying to think what's topical for this year. Couples costume idea, bike rack.
What do you mean?
The big the bike rack that they...
The bike shed.
The bike shed, rather. Yes.
Yeah.
That I think you could do nice as a couple's costume. You could have.
It's a bit boring, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
was just trying to think of topical news things that have happened this year.
To be honest, the news hasn't been that pleasant.
Hasn't been that great. But I was trying to think there has to have been some funny stories this year.
There probably was. I can't think of any at all. I've got an article here. It's from goodhousekeeping.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a list, 15 offensive Halloween costumes that shouldn't exist.
Okay. This is dangerous territory.
This
Love
is
this.
sort of like what you shouldn't dress up as for Halloween.
Yeah. Well, there's obvious ones, Kevin.
So, number 1, Holocaust victim.
Jesus.
I don't know. Who is dressing up as a Holocaust?
This is the thing. There's a lot to be asked about the people that want to dress up as this, okay? Like, were you not hugged enough as a child or what's going on?
They're looking for attention. Yeah.
This is what it's like. They obviously order sizzling fajitas in a restaurant. They're that type of person. They want the attention on them.
Oh, this is far too hot for me. I don't know why I ordered it. Yeah, I know. Everyone told you shouldn't order it. Oh, it's too hot. Can I have your milk?
But it's the sizzling plate that's brought out to them. They want everyone looking at that
going,
plate, watching,
who's
coming
this?
over.
Yeah.
There's moments like that. I'm trying to think of other examples of that in life.
So obviously Harry, the young lad, Harry
the young lad.
Prince Harry.
Harry the young lad.
Prince Harry dressed up as a Nazi.
Yes.
Years ago, he got in a bit of shtick for that.
Yeah, naturally.
Although I kind of thought that was his way of protesting his own family, because his grandfather.
You know, I'd love to give the benefit of the doubt that that's what he thought he was doing. I don't think he thought that deeply into it.
You don't think so? He's always been a rebel.
Has he?
He's always been a rebel. Because he knew he was never going to be the king, and he was just like, "Fuck this shit! I'm going to dress up as my grandfather, the Nazi."
Yeah,
they have ties.
Oh Lord!
So there was retailers who had previously come under fire for selling an Anne Frank costume for little girls.
For little girl. See, this is the thing as well. Like, what are you doing? These companies making these costumes have a lot to answer for.
And they always have names. They have literally the name was World War II evacuee girl.
Off.
Yeah, that's
like
because they can't. They don't want the Anne Frank.
It's one
thing. They
thing.
don't want the Anne Frank family going like, "Hey, you owe us a few pounds on this costume."
It's one thing someone going to the effort of making something like that, but you have a company that's manufacturing these and putting labels on them for what they are. They're the people to be held culprit here as well.
Number 2, anything involving blackface. That's fair enough.
Of course.
Yeah. Number 4, the COVID-19 pandemic.
No.
So this is a guy who kind of looks like a pizza that you burnt.
Yeah.
It's got a grey, I don't know if you remember the COVID-19.
Big germ-looking kind of guy.
It was like a big grey thing with a load of red dots on it.
Yeah.
So it looks like if you put if you came home from a nightclub and put in a Goodfellas pizza but then forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then the next day.
I mean, I feel in comparison to the other ones, one's less dangerous to me.
Yeah. Number 5, body shaming and objectifying costumes. This is another kind of odd one. Because the picture here, it's, the costumes where
it's someone holding
where you've got
on the shoulders,
where your legs are fake.
Yeah,
and it looks like an alien is carrying you.
Yeah.
Well, this one is like an overweight female sumo wrestler with nipple tassels carrying a man.
So bad.
And he's got cash in his hand, as if she's some sort of sumo stripper.
Who makes these? I'm really upset.
People like you, people who have good imaginations.
To do funny things with a baby Guinness. Do not in a second put me in this category, Kevin.
You don't think? I think you'd be very good at this job.
No, I wouldn't.
Number 6, cultural stereotypes. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Number 7, a terrorist. So this guy is dressed up as Osama bin Laden. To be fair,
yes, I used to see them a lot growing up.
You'd see them a lot.
In
the early noughties, come Halloween, there was always a lad dressed up as Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
And this is when he was still at large, so some people thought it was him. They're like, what is he doing?
At Virginia Pumpkin Festival.
What's he doing at the Virginia Pumpkin Festival? What's it?
Yeah. Isn't it great that so many things have thankfully stopped happening?
Yeah.
But I hate to see that these costumes still exist.
People give out about wokeness, but like, come on, it did get rid of a lot of shit.
There was a cull needed.
We needed
desperately.
A big cultural enema. Number 8, zombie versions of deceased celebrities. I haven't seen this that much.
If I was doing Lady Gaga, I might do it as a zombie Lady Gaga.
That's fine. She's not dead.
Yeah,
but like if it was Amy Winehouse.
Oh God, no.
Like,
Jesus,
it's just like, it's just too sad.
No, that's
just
heartbreaking.
Too sad, man.
That's
Number 9, an eating disorder.
Okay, this feels like a personal attack, and I want to know more.
A few years ago...
How does one dress as that?
So this is the quote. A few years ago, an online store took some heat for releasing a costume called anorexia.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, God. Extremely poor taste outfit, including a skeleton dress with a measuring tape belt to
Jesus.
cinch the waist. Not only is it a terrible fun, it also trivializes eating disorders.
Yeah, that's horrific.
You've got such a disappointed face.
Yeah, this is sad. Like, it's really sad what people do.
Number 10, animal cruelty.
Oh, God. Oh, this is getting so sad.
It's getting so sad. I'm not even sure. So this is the quote. Remember that dentist who slaughtered Cecil the lion and the terrible costume that resulted? So, so it's a costume of a guy, a dentist holding like a lion's head. See, this is when you're talking about like what was in the news. People sorry, your face is just...
I'm upset now about the whole thing. It's all sad. It's very sad.
It's really sad.
It's gone from
and it's getting
season.
worse. This is just sad season. This is... But this is the thing of people trying to be funny, trying to relate something to the news, and you end up just like, it's just fucking sad costume, man.
Yeah, with no brain cells, that's what's happening. At least, come on now, Kevin. There's things that I don't understand how people would even ever conceive to be acceptable.
Oh my God. Okay, number 11 is just a mentally ill person, and it's just a lad wearing a straitjacket.
If I was going as a mentally ill person, I wouldn't need a costume. I just go as me. A costume solved for, I would say, a vast majority of people.
Number 12, sexual harassment.
Jesus, Kevin, this is now. I'm not.
Frank the Flasher. But see, now this is a different territory. This is stuff that used to be kind of acceptable to be funny, like a funny flasher. But now,
I'll be honest, they were never funny.
No, it was never funny. But now it's just like not sound.
Oh, Jesus.
Number 13.
But it was because they were in every bloody shop, Halloween shop. They'd sell that flasher costume was just always there. That people like last and be like, oh, that'd be gas. I'll get that for the lads.
Yeah,
it's
but
not gas.
Not after Me Too, buddy.
I mean, it wasn't ever funny.
No, but now it's even less so.
Yeah, no, well, I won't be doing any of them.
Number 14, 9/11. Two people dress up as a plane, have the child dress up. Sorry, two people dress up as a building, have the child dress up as a plane.
Yeah, bring the family into it. Make a whole family affair of it. Would you ever do like a group family costume?
I mean, like if there was a national tragedy that I thought was funny enough.
Right. Yeah. If you're looking for a quick way to cancel yourself. If you've just thought maybe I've had enough of this whole entertainment business. I'd like to live on an island and never interact.
I'm gonna myself and Philip Schofield live on an island, talking about where we went wrong. He's gonna be saying it was probably the young lad, and I'd be like, yeah, for me it was probably the 9/11 costume.
Lovely stuff.
Well, I'm really sorry, Justine. I thought that would be a bit of crack. But it was actually a very sad discussion.
It was really sad. And I thought it couldn't get worse, and then it just kept getting worse.
It actually got worse as it went on.
It's like watching your dog be put down, but it doesn't work the first time or something, and they have to give him more, and you're
use
still
a shovel or something.
Oh, Lord above. Now.
Sorry, the needle broke. I'm going to have to use this shovel.
Oh, no.
So what's your Halloween costume plan for this year?
I've been thinking, I love Marty Whelan.
Yeah.
I love him. And in March, he dressed up as St. Patrick. And he just had a big St. Patrick's Day hat and he held a packet of potato.
Okay.
And I thought, that's just genius. So I was thinking of going as Marty Whelan, St. Patrick. So you've got 2 for 1 job there.
Can I give you some criticism?
Go on.
Okay.
This is first draft, by the way. This
is why we have writer meetings.
Yeah, of course.
I think if you dress up as Marty, dressing up as something else, you're muddy in the water. I think people will go, why are you dressed up as like St. Patrick with a mustache? And are you just eating tato?
Yeah.
I think if you actually just said, I'm going to focus just on Marty.
Yeah.
If you got like a plum suit.
Oh my God.
If you got his hair just right.
Oh my God.
Would you be willing to shave your head?
For Marty, I would, but I'm going to be in the middle of
I'd
shooting.
say you'd shave Anton for Marty. Sorry. I thought the conversation couldn't get
I'm
any
having
lower.
a winning streak, if you know what I mean. But I would, but I'm going to be shooting a show at that
give
time.
a wave to the people at home. I'm live
And you
streaming
brought
this.
your little mascot, which I see. I adore him.
I
The
think
man can do no wrong, and I adore him.
I would advise you to just go for classic Marty. If you're going for Marty as Paddy's Day, you're explaining a lot.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, do you remember he dressed up as Paddy? No, I didn't see that. Oh, here's a picture. Oh, yeah, it does look a bit like him. You know, that's what that's going to go like.
Yeah.
I think go classic Marty.
See, that
go
or Joe Dolan.
double-breasted suit, plum, like a plum colour or something like
gorgeous
that.
colour on him.
Joe
Dolan is also another option, pure white suit.
Yeah.
What else have I considered?
People might think you're Steve Martin, though. See anything?
Well, no, because I think there's a Joe Dolan tie at home.
What's a Joe Dolan tie?
Oh my God. He had the white tie with Joe Dolan written on it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Iconic.
Classic merch.
Classic merch. I'm just sick and I never bought his hip.
What?
His
hip was for
sold
sale.
his hip on eBay.
Oh my Lord.
Now, he sold it initially for charity for the Marie Keating Foundation.
Yeah.
But it was recently resold on eBay.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
So cool. He'd hip
But I mean,
transplant.
where the fuck are you going to put a hip?
I know. Like a paperweight. What are we using Joe Dolan's hip for?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a doorstop really, wouldn't it?
No, I'd have to keep it safe.
No,
Poor
you
Joe.
could have some sort of like Graceland type.
Yeah, you could set up. I don't
museum.
know why there isn't. Did you see there was a tweet like a good while ago about Paul Mescal? People were saying like they need to do a film about Joe Dolan's life, and I volunteer Paul Mescal to play him. I'm like, that's not a bad show.
Yeah, because he was kind of a big guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was tall,
Yeah.
and he had a
Broad.
big head in him. He was
Yeah.
broad, like yeah.
I think.
I think Mescal could pull it off.
Definitely as a young, and I think old, later years possibly. I think Pierce Brosnan could do it. And I was looking at Pierce Brosnan's head because I was watching Mamma Mia last night.
He's a big old head in him.
But but a lovely Irish head as well. That I was like, and just there was a way I looked at him and I thought, you do look a bit of Joe. It was the hair slicked back as well in that film. Now then Pierce started singing. I was like, well, you don't sound like Joe. God love you now.
Who does?
Who bloody does?
God damn it, who
So
does?
in that film though as well, that's the first time I watched that film, right? And it's absolutely mental. And come the end of it, no one knows who the father is. And I was like, well, what was the whole point of this journey? Don't get me wrong, I adore ABBA and the tunes are bopping throughout. But Pierce Brosnan is one of the potential fathers. Colin Firth, can't think of the other actor's name.
Oh, was she just riding all around her or what?
She had a few loves around the similar time. The
Still didn't. So she narrowed it down to three lads.
yeah.
And then at the end of the film, she was like, "Actually, fuck it, lads, could be somebody else."
She never. No, it was definitely one of the lads, but
It was
they
definitely
never.
whenever the minor team won the county final in 1979.
But when I was watching it, I was looking at Colin Firth and Pierce Brosnan, and I was like, oh, I've always had a thing for Colin Firth. I think he's hot. But
Too English.
Hugh Grant, he's the real bad boy of the rom-com world and would have been back in the day. Who would you pick, Hugh or Colin?
Hugh or Colin?
Yeah.
100% Hugh.
Really?
Yeah, Colin is too British. He's too he's too regal or something.
I think that's why I
think
like
Hugh. I've seen him in interviews. He's good crack now.
He's
he's wild. Doesn't take himself very seriously.
Yeah, but he'd never.
Can I not go with Pierce?
Oh well, like yeah.
I'd
It's just
pick-
I'm thinking of the rom-com
I go to
era.
Navan Man all the way.
Me too. Absolutely. And that man has been married to his wife for years and they're most
Pierce
wholesome,
Brosnan,
lovely.
Pierce Brosnan has
lovely.
the key to Navan.
You're dead right, he does.
He could walk into any house in the town. He has the run of the shopping centre. He can
dead
park anywhere in Navan.
Now I don't know why he'd be in a hurry back to the place.
Well, he's got the fucking key of it.
He's
That's
got
why.
the key. Well, he has to come back every evening and close it. It's a big commitment, Dad.
It is a big commitment, yeah.
But thank
yeah.
God from
but
now
you
he
get
does
bank
it every...
holidays off.
If you were going to marry someone, it'd have to be Colin Firth because Hugh would cheat on you. He did. Elizabeth Hurley, like.
How the fuck
How?
do you cheat on Elizabeth
How
Hurley?
do you do that?
Yeah, that was wrong move, man. I'd be locking
That's
that down.
unforgivable.
I'd be locking that down.
Yeah.
I'd be bringing her home. I'd be saying, Mommy, Daddy, this is Lizzie.
Your new daughter-in-law.
And my mother would be saying, Jesus, she must be freezing in that dress. It's like, I know, it's split down the side. We had to do a load of safety pins on the end of it. Yeah, and that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't at all.
I watched The Substance last night.
I need to see that.
Oh, it's traumatic.
You see, that's a body horror though. I'll freak out with that. Like,
yeah, like I'd watch anything. Like I'd watch, I wouldn't flinch at Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like that.
Oh.
But I watched that and I was squeaming in my seat.
I've heard it's incredible though.
But the mad thing is like the film starts, Demi Moore looks class. And the whole film is about her, losing her mind because she's getting old.
Right.
She wants to be young again. But she looks absolutely class. She's getting fired from her job. But the problem is she lives in LA.
Right.
Where the standard of beauty and youth is so much higher.
Yeah.
Literally, if she just decided she gets fired from her job, she's like, fuck it, I'm moving to Roscommon.
Go to Navan.
I'm going to be the
Pierce
best.
will give you the key.
She could have moved to Navan and just been the best looking woman in the country. And just, the film would be over. It'd be just the happiest. She'd be the happiest woman in Navan.
Yeah.
But she stayed in LA and she lost her mind. But highly recommend it. Go see it.
Yeah, I need to see it.
This spooky season, my film recommendation is The Substance. Justine's is Mamma Mia.
That's it. I think
that's a good, we covered a lot of ground there.
Yeah.
Folks, this has been lovely. Thanks very much for listening to us. Another episode of The Lovely Show with my lovely co-host Justine.
My lovely co-host Kevin.
There we go. We'll see you all. We'll see you all next week.
Good
hopefully.
luck. Be good.
Good luck.
Good luck.
This show is part of the HeadStuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with HeadStuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.